12D student today history. The topic is thinkers, beliefs and buildings, cultural development between 600 BC to 600 AD. 600 AD. Now, first is the development in sculpture and architecture associated with the rise of Vaishnavism and Shaivism. Vaishnavism was a form of Hinduism. It believed in the worship of Vishnu as a principal deity. Similarly, Shaivism is a tradition of Hinduism in which Shiva is regarded as the chief god. In such worship, the emphasis was laid on bhakti, that is, the bond between the devotee and the god was one of love and devotion. Architecture. When the stupas at Sanchi developed, the temples also came into existence. These temples were built to house images of gods and goddesses. The early temples was a small square room known as the Garbhagriha. It had a single door way from which the worshipper entered to worship the idol. Slowly and steadily a tall structure was built on the Garbhagriha. It was known as the Shikara. The walls of these temples were decorated with sculpture, but the later temples had an elaborate structure. They had assembly halls, huge walls, big gateways, and arrangement for the supply of water. Most of these temples were carved out of huge rocks. The tradition of building artificial caves was quite old. In the 3rd century BCE, many such caves were built for those who renounced the world and for those who belonged to the Ajivika sect on the orders of the king Ashoka. This tradition continued developing. Its most developed form can be seen in the Kailashnath temple of the 8th century. It was carved out of a single piece of rock. A copper plate inscriptions showed the amazement of the chief sculptor when he completed the temple at Ellora. He expressed his wonder saying, "Oh, how did I make it?" The sculpture, many avatars have been shown as idols. Such idols have also been made of other gods. Shiva has been shown in the lingam form, but in many other images Shiva has been shown in human form. All these images were based on the depiction of gods. Many sculptures of gods and goddesses were grotesque, means strange figures, as they had multiple arms and hands. They also had a combination of humans and animal forms. Next is the structure of stupa. Why were they built and the complex structure of stupa? From the earliest time, people considered the stupa as a pious and sacred. These stupas had special trees, unique rocks, and awe-inspiring beauty. They also had small shrines attached to them. They were sometimes called as chaityas. There are several chaityas in the Buddhist literature. There is also this description of many places associated with the Buddha. For example, we find Lumini, where the Buddha was born, Bodh Gaya, where Buddha attained enlightenment, Sarnath, where Buddha delivered his first sermon, and Kushinagar, where Buddha attained nirvana. All these places came to be regarded as sacred by the Buddhists. About 200 years after the time of the Buddha, King Ashoka created a pillar at Lumbini to mark the fact that the Buddha had visited this place. Now, why were stupas built? The stupas were the mounds where the bodily remains or objects used by the Buddha were buried. So all these stupas were regarded as sacred. Those stupas have been there even before the Buddha, yet they are mainly associated with Buddhism. They are venerated as emblems of Buddhism as they contain the sacred relics of Buddha. According to Ashok Vadana, a Buddhist text, Ashoka distributed portions of the Buddha's relics to all important cities. He ordered the construction of a stupa over these relics. The important stupa of Bharhut, Sanchi and Sarnath had been built by the 2nd century BC. The complex structure of a stupa. Stupa is a Sanskrit word meaning a heap. It is simply semicircular mound of earth. Later on it was called as Anda. Slowly and steadily its structure became complex because an attempt was made to balance the round and square shape. Above the Anda it had the Harmika, a balcony-like structure. This balcony represented the abode of the gods. Near the Harmika was a mast called the Yakshi. It was often surrounded by a chhatri or umbrella. Around the mound there was a railing. It separated the sacred place from the secular world. The stupas at Sanchi and Bharhut have stone railings. These railings was like a bamboo or wooden fence. It had 4 gateways. The worshippers mostly entered through the eastern gateways. They walked around the mound in a clockwise direction. Money for the construction of the stupas. A lot of donation poured in for the construction and decoration of the stupas. The kings like Satavahana offered huge amount. Similarly, the guilds and the ivory workers financed part of one of the gateways at Sanchi. Besides, hundreds of men and women also donated for this purpose. They mentioned their names along with the place from where they had come. They also mentioned their occupation and names of their relatives. The bhikshus and the bhikshunis also contributed a lot for the construction of these monuments. Now, third question is similarities and dissimilarities between Hinduism and Buddhism. Both the religions believed in karma theory and accepted that an individual takes birth again and again because of his karmas or actions. Both the religions believed in morality, truth and simple life. Main objectives of both the religions is to attain nibbana or salvation. Both the religion gives stress on sense of tolerance. Dissimilarities. Hinduism believed in authority of God and worship by considering it as all powerful, but Buddhism is mum about the God, silence about the God. Buddhism, like Hinduism, did not accept caste discrimination, importance of Brahmins and Sanskrits, superiority of the Vedas, etc. Next, Hinduism believed that Nibbana could be attained through yajna, sacrifice, prayer and other rituals, but Buddhism hardly believed in these things. Buddhism gives enough stress on non-violence and is against eating other animals, but Hinduism hardly gives too much stress on non-violence. Now next is growth of temple architecture in the early Indian period. In the early period, the central point of development in the temple sculpture were under the temples came into existence almost at the same time when the stupas were developed at Sanchi. The early temples were in the form of small square room which was called the Garbhagriha. It had a single door way through which the worshipper entered the temple to worship the image of gods or goddesses. A tall structure was gradually built over the center shrine. It was called as Shikara. The walls of the temples were often decorated with beautiful sculptures. Some of these temples were hollowed out of the huge rocks. They looked like artificial caves. In the 8th century, the temple of Kailasnatha was the culminated form of such temple. It was developed by cutting the whole hill. The chief sculptor of Kailasnath temple of Ellora expressed his amazement after his completion with these words that, "Oh, how did I make it?" Now, What were the main characteristics of the bhakti? Next question. Bhakti means deep devotion towards any god or goddesses. The tradition of bhakti became quite popular after the Mauryan period. Features were as follows. Those who followed the path of bhakti believed in pretensions. They emphasized individual worship with deep devotion. Those who followed the path of bhakti believed that the worship should be true. God appears in the form in which the devotee wants to see him. The god or goddesses can also be in human form. They can even exist in the form of a lion, a tree, or any other shape. As the society accepted this view, the sculptors started making beautiful statues. The gods and goddesses were given special respect. Their idols were installed in the temples. The tradition of bhakti inspired expression through pictorial arts, sculpture and crafts. The path of bhakti was open for all, whether the rich or the poor, the men or the women, the upper caste or the low caste. कितना मिनट हुआ?